All right, welcome to the Rodcast. Welcome to CRTV. We are here with Faião, artist, spectacular sketch master. This is the fifth episode. Anyway, first of all, what do you do? Who are you?
Hello, I'm Faião. I'm a Brazil-based artist. I mostly focus on concept art, but I can do illustration and my main job, like in life, is kind of game development at the moment. So illustration, like sharing stuff online, is mostly like a side gig
Mm-hmm.
in a weird way. Like I can get money from it sometimes, but it doesn't really pay the bills for me.
Okay,
Uh,
so you do it for the art of it.
Yeah, I really do it for the art of it. Like, I struggle to monetize the stuff I share online. I kind of just share it to share it. I don't know. I like seeing people's reaction to it. I like seeing the ways I can improve based on people's feedback and how they react to things, what they like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's all very interesting to me.
Well,
Uh,
what are your influences and like what got you into drawing in the first place? What would you
I
say?
mean, what got me into drawing was when like I first bought Skyrim. I was already like
What?
a big fan because, yeah,
Okay.
I was already a big fan because like my mom had brought Oblivion from when she went to visit the United States.
Hmm.
She bought it for my brother, but I got very, very addicted to it. So when Skyrim came out, I was very, very excited. I don't know if you remember how it was
I
when Skyrim got
remember I
announced.
remember Harry Partridge's cartoons about it, but I've
Yes,
never played it myself.
that's what I was thinking about. I think I watched the cartoon like 100 times when I was waiting for the game. I was just very, very excited.
I didn't even
Um,
know what that game was until I watched the Harry Partridge cartoon. And
I
then
had a I had a vague idea of what it was because I had played Oblivion, but like as a child and not really fully speaking English, you can only understand so much about it.
yeah. Wait, you're a little younger than me, so yeah, I
Yeah.
guess when it came out you were like younger. But why Skyrim? Why Skyrim specifically?
I mean, I got the like special edition, and the special edition of Skyrim came with a huge concept art book. Um,
Oh, I see.
and in that book, we had a lot of concepts from one guy called Adam. I don't know how to pronounce his last name,
Yeah, Adam
but
Bradovich.
yeah, Adam Mowitz. I always forget. I'm not really good with names, but his work is incredible. It's really, really, really,
Wait, I
really
know.
good.
He did the Fallout stuff. I know who he
Yes,
is.
he
He's a.
did the Fallout stuff, and he also did the Shivering Isles, which is an
Mm-hmm.
Oblivion expansion.
And it's
Um,
like all he did all of it with watercolors and ink. I remember now. There's like a
no,
documentary on him, and he died not long after Skyrim, I think.
yes, he died right after Skyrim came out. He died in 2012, which was pretty tragic
Hmm.
because he was basically an industry leading
Concept
master.
artist. Yeah.
So yeah, like there, he really. I don't feel like anyone has like filled in his shoes.
No, it was very.
Um,
It was more special. It was very different than someone like, I don't know, Craig. What's his name? The the great concept artist Craig.
Craig McMillan, is that his name?
I think so. Yeah.
Is it the guy who did like the art for like Age of Empires? Did some of the Halo.
Halo.
Yeah, he did some of those big
Did Halo
Halo
did
pieces.
even did before Halo. He did Marathon before that,
Yeah,
it's very different. Those two are like opposites. So
yeah. I feel like I hope that is his name, but I feel like Craig focuses more on like presentation
Craig Mullins. Craig
and
Mullins.
having like yeah, Mullins having like a whole uh, scene, like having a very solid scene done through the means of concept art while like Adam focuses on getting like a concept down in an interesting way as fast as possible. Like
Yeah, Adam
he's
is
more
like,
interested in making the concept interesting, and Craig is more
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. It kind of reminds me of Hayao Miyazaki's watercolor sketches almost, where he's kind of just meandering around whatever he's drawing,
exactly,
and
exactly.
yeah, definitely like more in love with exploring the mindscape of the concept before presenting it. But it's interesting you
Yes.
say his name because now that I've made the connection, yeah, I can completely see his influence on the way you go about doing things in your drawings. So
Yeah.
that's very, very, very interesting. Um, so yeah, it makes sense that you started with something like Skyrim because you do draw quite a lot of fan art, I would say, like a lot of
Yeah.
it. Mostly sketches
Yeah.
for a lot of games, and sometimes quite obscure games like Space Funeral or something like that.
Yes.
It's like you can't play a game without redrawing like the most memorable moments of them. Why you think why is that?
It's a weird thing, but it just feels like it's part of playing the game for me is to like draw it and try and understand the appeal of the game. Um, in a way, I think it even like motivates me to play more obscure games, like you said, like Space Funeral, but
Mm-hmm.
even weirder stuff like the Silver Case and
Oh yeah.
the what's the name of that game? Crypt Worlds, Crypt Underworlds. Like those games that like really push the aesthetics
I don't
that they
even know
have
that
going
one.
for. Yeah, it's really good. People like Crypt World more. I think Crypt Underworld is like a weird sequel that had like mixed reception to it, but I still like it. I played that one and I really like what it was going for. It was very maximalist. But anyway, it's just a way of like processing the visual style of the game and why people like it. I guess more than just the visual style, because like I don't know, if people like a certain game, it's just so much more than just if the game is good or not. It's like a whole culture around it with like certain ah, tastes. I don't know, like you kind of have to build the fandom around the game first, and that the fandom has a
A culture, you say?
yeah. So like it's something that is hard for me to put into words, which is I guess why I draw it, because I feel like I can only really understand why people like a game once I draw it and see like, oh, okay, these are their sensibilities, this is what appeals to them, like this is how they speak with each other in this fandom. I don't know, I
Mm-hmm.
just find all of that stuff very interesting. So
It's interesting that you the way you look at it because obviously video games are very consumer driven, but you almost look at it through a very creative lens, as if every game is kind of incomplete until you give your own piece to it. Like, what did I see when I was playing it? Now I get to draw it. Now I get to share it.
yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. Maybe incomplete for me, but yeah, I definitely feel like I don't finish a game until like I have at least like drawn it a little bit, you know.
Damn.
Especially if it's like a huge game. Like I feel like I only really process like the whole experience of playing it after I draw it. I mean, I do like playing games for the experience of game dev, since that's like my main focus. But yeah, I don't know. It's something that I started doing way back when, and I just kept doing it. There was I guess you could say there was like a market for fan art,
Uh,
but I just
okay.
wanted to like
A
I don't know. I
market?
wanted
A
I
market?
don't know like when you're drawing something, it's kind of like a back and forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like not to say that like art that's drawn for nobody's meaningless on its own, but I do feel like art at its core is information, and I feel like you get the most of it when you have like a back and forth, like a conversation. And
I
like
see.
since
No, yeah,
since no one
definitely. I think you're pointing at something that I'm quite understanding. I wouldn't say a market, and I wouldn't say information. Like this seems to be more of a dialectic. Two sides. union of opposites back and forth between each other. Kind of like that's essentially what brainstorming is. It's just instead of being just two people, it's on a community level, and
Yeah,
the art does benefit a lot of that because everyone has their own interpretation,
yeah,
and given a set of skills, anyone can share a part of that interpretation. And then, yeah, through art, through what you're calling fandoms, but really, I just think it's the culture and the community. I think you can just like give a side of these games you were playing that no one maybe could have ever thought of up until that point that you drew
maybe. I'm
it.
not sure. I feel like people definitely like can feel those parts in the game because I feel like I try to be very accurate to like what motivated the creator of the game or like what
That's
composes that
interesting.
game, you know. So
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah.
don't feel like I'm drawing from nothing or like my interpretation is like wholly unique. I feel like I'm just trying to highlight something about the game that is interesting to me
That,
personally.
that's even more
You know?
interesting. So, what do you think? Like a game like Undertale has like a trillion, billion, gajillion fan arts. What do you think that is?
Um, okay, so when I draw Undertale, I try to like think about like who Toby Fox is to me. Since
Okay.
like Homestuck was a huge influence on me,
Mm-hmm.
Toby Fox is very related to that, and like I try to like deconstruct his mindset for the games when I draw Homestuck. No, not Homestuck, sorry, Undertale. Like
Okay.
I just try to put myself in his shoes and like think what motivates him, and I feel like
That's even more
yes,
interesting. That's even more
Undertale.
interesting.
Yeah, Undertale can be like a comfy game. It can be like a nice game. It can be like, oh, it's so nice. Like everyone comes together and holds hand and is happy. But I feel like Toby definitely has a little bit of like I don't know if spite's the right word, but he has like a little bit of
Resentment.
sauce. Yeah, sauce to his presentation. Like his characters aren't like entirely nice. Even when he started like making the ideas for the characters, like Papyrus at first was like a brony, like a very mean-spirited brony.
Okay,
And then
I'm
he,
glad he didn't stick with that.
I mean, yes, but like I think the character of Papyrus still like is very based on that idea of like a big nerd, but he tried to like only highlight the better qualities of him. You know, I mean, I don't know. He can still be very mean accidentally by like not taking into account how you feel at times,
So it's
like
just
behind
interesting.
his fandom.
So you know all about that. Like I didn't know anything about what you're saying, but I guess you only ended up knowing about it because you're trying to get into the author's head from every game. That's even more interesting than just giving your own spin. It's like you're trying to see all that you can get from a game, not just at the consumption level, but through a creative level. It's almost like do you know the word exegesis? You know what that means?
No,
It's when you do like a very in-depth interpretation of normally a holy text, and you simultaneously try to understand what they were trying to say by also giving your own spin to it. It's like when you try to it's like when you're reading something and inevitably the words have to be said by your inner voice in your head and you have to reconstruct the book that you're reading. So when you do an exegesis, it begets the necessity for your own creation as well to understand the creation that already exists.
yes, I think that is pretty accurate. Like that is how I feel. Like I don't know, it's a little intense to compare with like a holy text, but it's like just games at the
It
store,
is,
and
but at the same time,
like
it's the same
I
patterns.
have I have fun just playing the game as well. Like a big part of the process for me is just like playing and enjoying the games themselves. But like, yes, like I do feel like I need to say it with my own voice. Like I need to draw it. Like whenever like I play something like Crew Squad or Shin Megami Tensei, I'm like I want to understand what they were thinking. Like what went into their head. Like I don't want to just
Yeah,
have it told to
look,
me. Like I want to think what they thought. You know,
That
like I
is
wanna.
very interesting, especially considering your influence with Adam, right? Because it's almost like we were just telling that he tries to explore all these concepts in his mind
Yeah,
through the sketches, and now you're
but
saying here that you have all these experiences in the digital media of games, but it's like in order to think deeply, you need like the power of the line, the power of the line that the pen
yeah.
has, in order to think
And
through it.
whenever I draw, I definitely like start drawing more like the game. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so when I have to draw something like say Human Echo that has such a distinct style, like I feel like I need to tap into that like cartoonization, that like very specific stylization to understand like why, you know? Because like
Mm-hmm.
all these parts compose a game. I think that's what make games so interesting. Is they are such like a cacophony of different mediums, you know, like just not just like
Very.
visual, but like
Yeah, yeah,
audio
yeah.
and like the structure and the architecture of it is like all so interesting and so
Very
hard to like
multifaceted. Very multifaceted.
yeah, and so hard to get it right. Like it's so fucking hard to get it right. Um,
Hopefully, like I'll be using your drawings. Like obviously, we're sharing the video that of ours drawing, but I'll be sharing your pictures that you drew of all of these fan art in the video, so people kind of understand what we're getting at, because they're very unique fan arts. It's not just normal. It's not like pandering. They're very different than normal fan arts, and hopefully people will understand it as I show them. With that said, though, what are your favorite games?
this is gonna sound weird. This is gonna sound weird, but this is something I've thought about for a while.
Okay.
Um, it's gonna be a weird answer from someone who like likes obscure games, but I kind of feel like Stardew Valley is my favorite game.
Stardew Valley? Why? I never played it,
Yes,
but tell me why.
like it is very commercial at its core, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's one of the few games that like I'm not sure how to put it into words, but it feels like it accomplished exactly what it set out for. And like out of most games, like people love to say like, oh, this was a single developer. This was like only one guy. And this is not even entirely true for Stardew Valley because he has like a publisher and he's had help with many things and people have to playtest the game. But he really did like make most of it. You know, like he made the music, he programmed it, he made the art, even if it was like clunky and weird and didn't make much sense. Like he went for it, you know, because he was like, this is gonna like people are gonna understand it. Like I don't care if it's weird, I don't care if the pixels expand and contract and that makes some people really mad. Like
Mm-hmm.
they'll get it. They'll get it in time. Um and I respect that. Like so I don't know. To me it's not about like the project being like, oh, we made zero money. It's like entirely a super ultra artistic endeavor. Like we're completely reconstructing the medium. But it's more like about it really feels like a very honest expression of like what he wanted to create and it's a really fucking fun game.
Is it
Like it's
one of
just
those? Is one of those games where the author had like a super specific philosophy when he went to make it? Kind of like how The Sims. The Sims is the result
yes.
of a
I
guy
really
who had his house put on
I
fire.
really like the Sins one. The Sins one is really good for me because like the core that makes people want to play The Sims is there, but like the whole layer of like having that sitcom aesthetic
Mm-hmm.
and like those pre-rendered graphics are beautiful. It's like so specific, but like it ended up becoming a franchise, but it ended up losing like all of that sauce that made me appreciate it so much.
I actually want
But
to go
like
back and play the first Sims, like the very first one, because I don't think I've played. I've only played Sims 2.
they're hard to play. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. So at times they're not even like super fun because like managing all the moods and the necessities of your Sims is super hard because they don't really have a lot of autonomy like the later games.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the
yeah,
later
yeah,
games, you
yeah.
can kind of let them play themselves, but the Sims one, no. And I don't know, I just love it, and it ended up generating the expansion like I forgot the name, A Touch of Magic, And I don't know, like those graphics and like all of that talent like converging into such a specific idea, executed in such a specific way. But like the appeal is so deep to me. Um, I don't know. I feel like we went a little bit off topic there, but Stardew
It's
Valley is
Stardew Valley.
similar to
That's your
me.
answer. That's your answer. Stardew Valley.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I can feel like it's very passionate. I feel like they really did what they wanted to do there, and the game is really really fun. When you play it, you can feel like the thought that went behind like each system and how you encounter each resource. Like it feels like everything has like a voice in that cacophony I mentioned of like game design and development. Like he really got it down like perfect, I think. I don't know. I mean, I do also really like other games. I think people get caught up saying like, "Oh, what's your favorite game? What's like the best thing ever? Like, what's the one thing I should play if I want to know you?" But I think like the great thing about games and art is that you don't need to limit yourself to like a genre or like one game or one thing. You know, like you can be someone who likes Stardew Valley a lot and still play like Echo and still play like the Silver Case. You know, like and still play Space Funeral and whatever. Like you don't need to limit yourself. Like
Look,
you have.
you know Jonathan Blow, the guy who made the Witness.
Yes, I know Jonathan Blow. I can't help but think of the Soldier Boy clip.
Yeah.
Never think of.
Yo, this nigga brain! It's like Mario in the future. He falls down and whoa, he goes back in time. It doesn't. Oh, people don't get my game. People don't get. Anyway, that guy, he made The Witness, which is like one of the most complex, intricate games ever created. And you go tune in into his fucking Twitch stream or whatever, and he's playing Call of Duty Zombies or some garbage. So, so yeah, your taste can be multifaceted as well, just as much as the games that you like. That's what I feel.
I think that adds like that might even make you like a certain game more. Like I don't know, you need to know the contrast between like that thing you like and its opposite to know like how good it is or how right it got it. You know.
Yeah, you gotta sometimes know the simple to know what is complex. Know what something is
exactly. I don't know. I feel like it's a lot about like trying to understand whatever you set yourself out to play. You know, like just try to understand why it was made, and I think it will make your life better. That's just my opinion, but I don't know. I hold it pretty strongly that like you should give it your best shot, no matter what it is.
Okay. What do you draw on? What is like? Do you have a Cintiq? Do you have a?
I have a Wacom one, like the little tablet. No screen tablet. I don't like screen tablets.
You don't like screen tablets? Why?
No, I don't like the way they fuck up your posture. Like I like that you can keep your back straight while drawing with a little tablet.
That is true, but have you thought about the Ergotron arm or a standing desk?
Well, when I have enough money, I can think about such things.
Okay.
But right now, I'm trying to make it work with a little dipshit tablet.
I do like. Here's the thing. I also like normal tablets, screenless. But what I noticed is that there was always like conflict between drawing while looking at the screen, and then I go back to my sketchbooks traditionally, and then I have to look at my hand. So there was always like a conflict, and I necessitated to feel that I needed to change to a screen tablet. Because if I use one too much, then I get worse at the other. So it's better to get better at both, I think. Get just better at one. Well, that's just my opinion. Anyway, that doesn't really matter.
I'm thinking about what you're saying. But yeah, go on.
It doesn't really matter. Have you done pixel art?
Yes, I have been doing a lot of pixel art lately, actually, for a thing that I cannot talk about.
Okay, yes. Is it another game?
Yeah, but
okay, you can't say anything.
Yeah, I shouldn't talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Well,
it's I wanna I have a certain mindset with games. Like, I don't know. I try to keep it separate from like the social media stuff, you know, because
Yeah, that makes sense. Actual creativity, I feel like should progressively
I
be
mean, it's not
offline.
that social media is not actual creativity. It's just it's a different mindset than like working on something
Mm-hmm.
that like has to be approached in its own context, you know, like.
Yeah, you can't be worrying if it makes enough clicks.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Like it has to be made in its own context, its own little universe. Like I'm fine with my art in social media being like appealing to a mass market, I guess, and being like more for the general public. Like that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't bother me because like a lot of art I like was made for the general public. You know, a lot of movies and books were made with like a public in mind. That doesn't devalue it in my mind.
Yeah, it's more of a method, right? Because
Yeah.
back then, things were behind closed doors for a long.
Yes.
Even popular stuff was behind closed door for the
Yes.
longest
And
time,
there's a
and
good
and now everyone
there's a
feels the
good reason
necessity to
for that.
share. Yeah, now
And
everyone feels the
even
necessity to
now
share.
where we have like to share, we feel compelled to share everything.
Exactly.
Uh, I feel like there is still good reason to keep stuff behind closed doors.
Me too.
To keep stuff like subject to only its own context or in the context of like the few people that know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's healthy for it. Like it's not that you shouldn't publish your stuff and share your stuff in social media. It's just that you need the little discipline to know like, okay, this stuff goes here and this stuff goes there, and I'll try to manage that way. Uh,
Compartmentalizing.
yes, exactly. Compartmentalizing is a very strong thing that I feel like if you want to get games done, if you want to get like comics done,
Yeah, absolutely.
you should think about it that way. I don't know. There are people that make your work that make like a whole show out of it. Like the guy who made Kill 6 Billion Demons, I think he does a good job of mixing both of them.
Yeah,
Since it's
that
like
guy has a really strong model and has it before. He has had it since even before social media, I think. So he's not really bound by the same laws as anyone starting now.
maybe, but even people like I mean, Homestuck did kind of crash and burn, but people like Hussey also had a good model for like
Hussey?
mixing. Hussey, yeah, like he released Problem Slew
I don't know
and
anything. I don't
Homestuck.
know anything about Homestuck. Sorry,
Okay,
literally.
let me give you the crash course on Homestuck.
Okay.
Like at the start of Homestuck and Problem Slew, there were prompts that were user submitted. So
Mm-hmm.
like if you're keeping up with Problem Slew on Homestuck, you could be like, "Oh, can you do this?" to the character, like, "Oh, pick up your gun and shoot that guy in the head." And Hussey was really good at making like those random ass prompts work into like a cohesive and very complete feeling narrative, at least for Problem Slew. So like
Oh, I
it
see.
can work. It can work if you have like a web comic. It can work, and even if you have a game, it can work. It's just that like there are
Hmm.
certain types of games that like I feel it's harder to do if you have like I'm gonna share everything mindset. Like it's kind of like it has
It's
to be popular before it's out, you know?
yeah, and it's interesting that you say that because again, this feels like something that um that the true experience is only in a very specific moment of space and time, which is the community prompts and stuff, and then it's sort of out.
Yes. I feel
Yeah,
like the product definitely becomes the social media engagement, you know?
yeah.
Like
So that's different.
your
That's
ga-
very different.
your game becomes like the product stops being the game and starts being just like those clicks and those likes and like the social media experience, which can be fun. Like I'm not, being an asshole and like if the game sells, whatever. Like you got it done. But I don't know if you want to make like something very solid and that works in its own context. It might be good to like separate it, compartmentalize it from the whole social media experience. But it's
Yeah.
still like a strong tool. Like it sucks, but you should probably use social media because like that's where you're gonna meet other artists. That's where you're gonna
Yeah,
find new
probably.
things.
Probably
I
nowadays,
don't
I
know.
feel like it's mostly Discord than actual social media.
Yeah, but Discord is still social media, you know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I
It's
think
a
so.
private forum, but it still is social media.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
I do feel like a lot of people went to Discord, but it's the same thing. Like art is about like the back and forth, is about development of ideas by like throwing that ball back and forth. It's like communication, you know.
Yeah, let's hope it keeps
You,
being that way.
no, it's gonna be the way no matter what. Like all this shit is noise. Like art can exist in its own context. Like you just gotta keep doing this shit. Like it's gonna make sense. I don't know.
Well, digital or traditional art?
Both. I feel like both are both mediums of art.
Yeah, I remember you doing like there was one time you were only using like a micron pen. Just all of your drawings were like a very thin sketch. Do you remember? I think it was like 5 years ago when you did a bunch of drawings that with a very thin ink pen.
You mean the Inktober's?
Yeah, I think it was the one Inktober where you did a
Yeah,
bunch of stuff like that.
yeah,
Did you also use
yes.
watercolors? I remember seeing some drawings of you that use watercolor.
Recently I
Oh,
used
okay.
watercolors.
So
But
those were
those
recent.
also,
Okay.
yeah, there's some. I did some off drawings recently, off the game.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. And not like a
That I
billion of
use.
them.
They use they use those pans, but I also do apply like a filter digitally afterwards to like manipulate
Yeah, yeah.
the values and give colors to like instead of just being a grayscale
Hmm.
giving colors to certain values
It's
just to like set the mood for certain scenes
yeah, yeah.
match
The best way is digital. That's what I keep saying.
digital.
Digital.
Tell me
Yes.
about that.
It's
Elucidate
I
me.
mean, it's what you're saying. It's you begin traditional and then kind of you creation is analog, but editing is digital pretty much. You just
Yeah,
go, you do it traditionally, and then you start giving all the changes that it needs digitally.
yeah, if you're gonna be sharing your stuff like to a mass audience, no matter what, it's gonna have to go through some sort of digitalization,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. In a way
Even
or
when you're
another.
like, even when you're like composing a movie that's entirely made in cells with traditional means, like I still feel like the process of putting it all together and editing it, even if it's through analog means, kind of is a type of digitalization. Like, and then you
Hmm.
just copy and reproduce it. Like when you copy a piece of art, I don't know. I already feel like you're digitalizing it in a way. I don't know. Is that too abstract? I
Um,
don't know. Like,
yeah, it depends how far you want to go. You can, I mean, you're almost getting into Ralph Waldo Emerson, you know, like the philosophy of the art in the age of reproduction. You're almost getting
yeah,
into that.
yeah. I feel like whenever you reproduce something, I don't know. Like no matter how far we go, there is like a degree of abstraction you have to accept that. Like, oh yeah, like this is not the original piece, but it still has value somehow.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
it's up to us to decide where that starts and where that ends. But yeah, we
So,
have to kind of make peace with it.
do have you done commissions, or is it just illustration
Well,
and concept art?
I've done commissions. I used to do them a lot more when I was
Mm-hmm.
younger, but I had a rough spot in my life recently where I felt like I couldn't really work on them and as well as like do game dev and other things at the same time.
I feel like
Um,
everyone goes through something like that, like how my time
yeah,
to work for someone else is over.
as well. I mean, it's not true. Like I'm doing commissions again. It is like a weird format that I'm doing right now. Like I'm trying to do like, oh, you suggest a Disco Elysian skill,
Uh huh.
and I try to make it work as good as possible. You know, it can be like it can involve like your original character and stuff, but it
Hmm.
does give me a lot more agency than like traditional commissions of like just draw this character. Um, but I don't know. I just went through a rough spot in my life personally, like when I was living alone. Like I
Mm-hmm.
never really felt super depressed up until that point. Like I felt like I couldn't do anything, like at all. It
Okay.
was weird. Because like up until that moment, felt easy to make things, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like I could just sit down and make it. And I feel like I regained that somewhat recently now that I've gotten married and
Oh, you've gotten
fixed up.
married? What? Okay.
Yeah, I got married,
Yeah.
and fixed up my life a bit and surrounded myself with people that are more patient, I guess, about the whole I just want to draw the whole time forever because that's the only thing I think is fun in life.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a bit of a dipshit stance, but I really I don't know. Like seeing how things have been going recently, I feel like I don't know. I just want to draw, man. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I just want to grill.
Draw. Yeah, exactly. Like I just wanna draw these fucking knights. Like the stuff doesn't make sense if I'm not drawing. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree completely. You gotta live and die by the line, because the speed of line is the speed of mind, the only correct speed to live by.
You have a whole model like already like pre-prep, like pre-fired.
You're just saying stuff that only confirms things that I in a way already know. That's why it's interesting.
I'm
Um,
glad.
yeah, that's why it's. I mean, it's one of the big reasons to read history or philosophy is to understand that the guy from 2000, 3,000 years ago is like also thinking about very similar
I
things.
agree completely, dude. I
Yeah.
agree completely. Like I feel exactly that way when I read like an older book. Like these dudes they're just the same people as we are.
Yeah, there's
Like,
just some archetypal perennial problems that are just fucking timeless and everyone thinks about them. And it just
yeah,
reverberates throughout time and space and people. Well,
yeah.
what I was thinking, speaking of personal things, I guess. The character you most recurrently draw, like the one that you draw the most, is Rando from Lisa, the Painful. Um,
Yes, it is.
so a character that in that game only has like 5 sprites, you've drawn like 100 times. Why Rando?
I don't know if I have a good answer for that other than like I started drawing it when I started drawing, so I don't know. It just clicked for me. It's just like I don't know. This character makes sense. You ever see an artist like a Japanese artist that just draws like one thing? And
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah,
all
yeah,
they'll
yeah,
draw.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I feel a similar way. Like I just want to like register like what I've learned about the world by drawing random somehow. Like whenever I feel like oh, okay, I've gained new knowledge. Like I've played a bunch of new games. I've done a bunch of new things. I've witnessed a bunch of shitty things. Like right, let's draw another random. See how it comes out this time. Because I feel like I don't have like a lot of control over what I draw sometimes. I don't know. Like sometimes I have a certain idea in my mind that I'm like it even is very solid in my mind, but when I try to draw it, like I end up with something different sometimes. But I try to finish exploring it anyway. I feel like drawing random specifically is just a way to have more control
But
over it.
was it like something that you started and you don't know why, or is it there something about the character
I
in
do
that
I do
game?
feel like I do feel like there's something about the character about like masculinity expressed through
Oh yeah,
Randall
yeah, yeah.
specifically. I don't know. I feel like Randall represents a very I don't know, a very
Interesting.
vulnerable type of masculinity that I guess I relate to.
Yeah, he's kind of like the only vulnerable guy in a super violent
Yeah,
world, but he has to be violent
yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
Just to
like
live.
it's not that Randall is weak or that like he can be like a masculine, you know, like he's a tower of muscles.
Yeah.
He definitely can like give you the pain if you want the pain and nothing
Mm-hmm.
but the pain. But like I don't know. Deep inside he's just very sentimental, very sad and like still very attached to like these issues of like the absence of his father, of like a father figure in general. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
I feel like Herando is doing like the best he can, maybe even to a fault in the wasteland, and I don't know. It's just such a unique interpretation of masculinity, and I feel like it mixes so well with Austin's the creator sensibilities with wrestling and stuff, you know,
Yeah. He's
with the
also
theatrics of wrestling. If
he's
it
a
feels like
martial artist, but he's also like an actual artist. He's both a martial and an
yeah,
artist.
but even martial art, there's like a whole theatrics to it. I feel because like
Yeah.
in an age of like gunpowder, guns, and atomic bombs, it's not like martial arts matters beyond
Yeah.
like the discipline of it, you know. So like
Yeah. That's a good point.
it's kind of a way to find meaning within yourself. You kind of play a character. I don't know.
Good point.
It's
Interesting.
complicated, but yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
I'm not super well read on this stuff, but there are some authors that talk about how like the simulation can kind of become the reality. Like the
Yeah.
experiences you can have as a character can become like almost analog with real experience. Of course, they'll never replace them, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
there's
Like
also to
they
talk about
certainly
that.
build.
Yeah, there's also to talk about that in a positive light, and also to talk about that in a very negative light. It
Yes,
depends.
yes.
Like normally, simulation is seen as kind of a positive, and simulacra kind of a negative, because simulacra can exist without the original.
I mean,
Um,
but I believe in like our will above anything else. You know, like I don't know. We have to learn how to like best use the things that can be both negative and positive. Like I don't know. Like every day we handle like knives and and
yeah.
tools that could very easily kill us and fire that could burn everything around us.
But
But
we
like
but we
we
restrict.
most of the time,
That is
yeah,
true, but we
most of the
restrict those
time
uses.
yeah, most of the time we don't cut ourselves or burn our houses down. There's always a risk, but like most of the time it doesn't happen. Like when you go outside, you can get mugged, you can get run over. Like a million things can happen, but you just have to accept the nature
Yeah,
of life itself. Like you can like restrict your experiences just because of that fear. Like I don't know, you're gonna die anyway.
yeah, and
Like as soon as
ultimately, you can't account for every possibility. Even as
no,
something like the sun rising down tomorrow is still in a way an act of belief, not so much
yes,
certainty. We use
yes,
certainty for as much as we can, but belief is still our primary mode that we
yes,
can't really get rid of. So the will is very
yes.
necessary
I
to
I
guide it.
agree completely.
Okay.
That is how I see it as well. I think again.
I love that from asking why you draw Randall a lot. Okay.
I think it is. I don't know. It is true. Like when I draw these characters, I do like it's kind of like a meditation. You know, it's like I'm thinking about like what does this mean to me? Like why have I drawn this? Like why do I care? Like why do we care? I guess. And but at the
Absolutely.
same time, I do want to make like a good picture.
I do
I
draw
don't know.
these
Like
guys a lot. These guys, these dudes a lot.
yeah,
Uh,
like
but
exactly.
they're from my story that nobody knows about though. They're not like a character that anyone knows. These are M3s, as in meaning making machines. Meaning making machines, and they're just kind of pop up in every drawing I do because I don't know. I just got used to draw them, and I wonder if it's the same thing with you and Rando. Probably, probably yes.
I think there are like similarities for sure. Like I, don't know, I also draw my own character a lot. Like I draw a monk girl.
and you draw
It's the first thing
the
I've drawn her.
meanderer. You draw the meanderer a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Also,
I draw her a lot. It's the same thing as random. It's like random, but I try to like remove the fan art aspect to like
yeah,
see what changes. You know.
yeah. You mostly sketch, but your sketches already have such a unique quality to them, and they often are like a finished piece almost. Like certain details are hidden, but then a lots of parts are very ornate. It's like you've mastered sketching, and almost your sketches can almost become a finished piece. Um,
Yeah, I think that's the same with Adam, the big influence on me.
yeah. You're right. You're
I
right.
think that's I don't think I'm anywhere near his level because he could also do like architecture so well. I mean,
Oh,
of course, I'm not gonna do it exactly the same way. But if you see like the Shivering Isles concept, it's so crazy.
Shivering
And like
Isles.
the game does benefit from it, but like it still doesn't like achieve fully like what he envisioned. Like the world in his mind is just so big. you know? Like it's
Shivering
so
Isles.
big and so lived in. I can give you. You have to look
Yeah,
at
I'll
the
look at it. I'll
USP.
definitely look at it. The
No,
Oblivion
I'll give
Shivering
it to
Isles.
you now. I think it's important so you can
Okay.
visualize what I'm saying about.
I mean, I
Elder
can.
Scrolls are funny.
I'll look at the
Elder Scrolls.
concept art. I'll look at the concept art eventually.
No, yeah, I'll send it to you now.
Okay, okay.
But like, Elder Scrolls is funny. Like they have a whole wiki that's like almost as detailed as like real philosophy, like
Ah,
like documentation. You know, like it's funny how much people care about this and the way the history of the world works also kind of lends itself to it because
oh
there's a
yeah,
lot
I
of
see, I
interpretation
see.
with it.
I see. I'm looking at it. Damn.
Like look at how much confidence he has, like, and this is not digital. He just puts that shit down like on paper.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This looks really cool. He's
I
very
don't know.
confident. Very, very
He's
confident.
very, very confident. I don't know. So good.
Look
It's
at these
so good.
parkways. Damn. These sketchbooks are probably like valued at like 10K or something like that.
And maybe that people don't know what they have until someone tells them what they have. This might be just sitting like in a room, you know? And no one
Yeah,
gives a fuck.
maybe it's like the Akira backgrounds, which are some of the most intricate painted backgrounds ever, and they were used as wrapping paper.
Exactly. Like
Maybe.
people don't know. But I feel like even about digital things, people like you need like kind of pioneers to go and say like, no, this shit's good. Like
Yeah,
you should try to see what's good about it.
yeah. You can't let just people enjoy things because then they'll just like garbage. You need to be an elitist, and ironically, you need to gatekeep what is good, so people don't meander around what's bad.
But yeah, like anyway, I don't know. Sometimes whenever I'm feeling down, I feel like I don't know what to do. I come and look at these 'cause it's like wow.
No, I'm looking at it, and it looks like he starts with either markers or a brush for the blocking in
Yeah,
of larger,
I've tried replicating
and then he
recently.
goes into the thin lines and only marks
Yeah,
whichever are the most
yeah,
important.
yeah. I've done this recently. I've tried to replicate this recently. He uses alcohol markers.
Yeah, they
Um,
those wreck your paper, those destroy your
yeah,
paper, but
yeah,
they wield very good results. This is like
yes.
the old school concept art way. This is the what was it? What was the name the school Fing Zhu went to? The art center. This is the art center way. Plus his own flair, of course. Yeah, but
Shit,
this is
shit's
really cool.
beautiful.
This is
I
really
could look
really
at this.
cool. Um, yeah, I'll definitely
But,
give a better look at it eventually.
but
Um,
anyway, what were we talking about? I'm sorry.
yeah, I was just talking
Uh,
about how you sketch a lot, and actually, you've done a lot of series of sketches, like thematically, including one that I think is very interesting, which is like a series of clown drawings. And out of those clown drawings, there's like a clown girl that you draw a lot. So what is it with
yeah.
clowns? Why do you keep your clown core, the clown core drawings?
It was initially something I started doing in college. It was kind of like a tabletop setting in my mind, but it kind of devolved into like, whoa, this is really fun to draw. I don't know. I feel like it's a little freeing to draw clowns because it feels like you don't need to really justify the elements that much. You know, like it can have its own rules, of course, but you don't need to be like, why are the colors crazy or like why are
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
armors
yeah,
like
yeah.
this? You
They're
know,
just
like
clowns. They're just
they're
clowns.
clowns. Like it doesn't make sense within the setting that I thought. I feel like it makes a lot of sense within the setting, but like artistically, like just as a drawing that you can appreciate on the internet, you don't need that bigger context to understand it. Like it's just
Yeah.
clowns. Like
It
it's just a way to
seems
express yourself.
it seems that when you sketch, you have a very, form follows function approach. Like you don't have the fact that the clowns are very chaotic and don't adhere to norms. You use it as a way to explore all of these shapes and patterns in drawing and create all these
Yes.
crazy characters. Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So all of this, just looking at your drawings and your fan arts. Do you know the art? I think you know the art. Gunnar Leverwood.
Yes, of course. I used to I first followed him when he had like just 100 followers.
Yeah, same. Yeah, he
Um,
popped off. He kept going,
he
and
used he used to talk with me, and I don't know. The time when he got really popular, I was in that like big depressive part of my life.
mm,
So it's kind of like whoa. It's kind of like I came back to like a whole different world. I still kind of feel that way
yeah.
sometimes recently. Like whoa, so much happened while I was I don't know. It felt like I was in another reality for like 2 years. I didn't even post for like 2 years.
Oh,
But
that's
yeah,
probably a good
Gunner.
thing.
I
Gun-
think I think a lot about Gunner actually. Like
yeah, he made like how many drawings in a year? Like 5,000 something. He had posted all of his goals, and they were and it's not just the quantity. It's not like he was just making trivial drawings. All of them were just having so much energy and personality, and were so
oh
specific.
yeah, I have some
Uh,
really old messages when he showed me these drawings.
oh, really? That's interesting.
Oh yeah, even I don't know. He drew me a few times. Gunner. I don't know. It makes me sad.
Yeah, rip.
You know.
Real legends. Takes real to recognize real.
I
Um,
don't know. It's just it was so sudden that he died. Like he had a seizure apparently, and then another one, and
he was very young to die, and to
no, he was way too young. Like
yeah, doesn't
I don't know.
deserve it.
It's sad.
Memento mori.
I think seeing what happened with Gunnar kind of made me change my philosophy with drawing a little bit at times.
Yeah,
Like it made me.
you can't expect that you have like a million years left to do what you want.
Yeah, yeah, but I also feel like it changed the way that like I feel like you really should take care of yourself if you're an artist.
Oh,
Like I don't know how Gunnar led his life. I have no idea, but I don't know. I think a lot of artists end up like letting themselves go in favor of their art,
oh, absolutely.
which is understandable. But I feel like there's a lot that you can't draw until you get older. You know,
That's a good
like
point. It's like
there are certain things you only understand when you're older. There are certain things you only see when you're older. Like you need to live to see
that.
these things, to draw these things.
It's interesting. That's normally something people say about writing, not so much about drawing. Because when you're writing, you're putting down your experience in the world, right? So obviously, if you're younger, you never even went through the expectations and responsibilities and pressures of adulthood, which is kind of what defines most of human experience. So if
Yes.
it's like so much, if you're going to write something down, it's unlikely it's going to be anything that's worth reading if you haven't gone through the great experiences that inevitably await you. But it's not something that's been used in drawing, like, because I guess historically drawing has been more of a technical thing, as has been most of the art, like artisans. So it's like in the arts, everyone is kind of like expecting they don't expect, but they want a child prodigy, right? They want the guy who paints like Rembrandt at 14. But at the same time, if we are to see drawing as kind of a literature, kind of like something that conveys meaning, then the same law applies. Like,
Yes.
right? You're only going to have a
Yes.
certain visual library, and even knowing specifically what to draw in tandem, what to draw instead of another thing. That is all going to
Yes.
be very solidified through experience in life, not so much fucking by merits or data crunching or just becoming a pro really young.
Yeah. I feel
So
like I dislike the idea of like someone can only truly come to the understanding of like a skill or like drawing or whatever if they are like really young and they already like got it right and like their brain formed the perfect way. like there are a lot of young people that are extremely good that I even like know personally. Like do you follow Joe Chioro on social media? He draws a lot like
I don't know, maybe, but I'm not good with names. I may follow whoever you're
I'm
talking
not
about.
I'm not either, but like he I think he's a little young, but he's like extremely good. He draws like that guy that passed away a few years ago. That you know that he does like the sketches like straight away. He will do like huge scenes
Kim Jong.
without like any. Yeah, Kim Jong.
Kim Jong
Exactly.
Un.
He's
No,
very
Kim
he's
Jong
very
Il.
inspired.
Kim Jong Il.
Yeah, Kim Jong Il.
Jesus. Yeah, sorry, I
No.
said Kim Jong Un. No, Kim Jong.
No, it's fine. Yeah, but he draws a lot of inspiration from that guy, and he has like the senses like almost like pre-built into his head, but like I don't know. I feel like if we don't like cultivate things beyond that, we are only gonna get a certain type of art. You know, like if we want to get art that's like aged, that's like weathered, you know, that like speaks on a deeper level, we need to be able to cultivate like art from people who were like late bloomers, you know, or people who like are willing
So
to dedicate
much
large
of the most
portion-
meaningful art is from late bloomers. Like Sergio Topi. I assume you know his artwork. Sergio Topi.
the name escapes me.
He does. God damn it! You should definitely search him. Because I'm without a doubt you have seen his artwork, and he is a late bloomer. You could say he was working as like up until his mid-30s was working as like a server, I think, or as like an hotel cleaner or something like that. And you know he developed one of the most unique styles ever, like ever. Let me see.
Yeah, but think about that. Why is that? Like, why is that? It's cause he weathered the storm. You know, like
Exactly.
he grew old. He took care of himself and saw the world with his own eyes, so he could draw it. You know, that he could understand it.
Yeah, it's like every single line and whatever they are driving towards together start to have more of a cohesive meaning because, like you said, they weathered the storm. They have a reason. They know why they weathered it, and they know why you should too.
Yeah.
And that reflects on the storytelling that they lay on the page.
Exactly.
It's way more. It's way more than just scribbling and trying to find the best way to draw anatomy. And
Yes.
you know the forever study. The forever study, students,
Yes.
is both a positive thing because you're always learning, but it can also be a crux because you know you don't want to be like Proco, who is the best at draftsman. He knows how to draw all of these perspectives, all of this anatomy, but then you ask him to draw anything from imagination and he draws like the kangaroo.
But beyond that, like you could, the type of mindset can lead to artists to like can draw insanely good, but have no understanding of like our world.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like they haven't read anything. They have no opinion on anything. You know, like they just don't. They just see themselves as an artist and just an artist, nothing else. Like they haven't. They aren't putting like their views of the world into the canvas because they just didn't think about it.
Yeah, and that's more like an artisan than an artist because art requires to have you an understanding of the world almost like freaking throughout art history. It's always been a microcosm of society. Like it always reflected what was going on, you know, outside of it. So it cannot. You know, I think it's an inherently revolutionary trait, as in, and I'm being very literal about the meaning of the word revolutionary, as in revolving back to the beginning. Things have changed, and now, you know, you have to put it on the page exactly how they changed. Because, it requires you to have the lived experience of a world that's ever changing, and therefore art also changes. Otherwise, you're kind of just like a tradesman, or an artisan, which is cool.
It's fine.
Which is fine. But it's like,
Yeah, no
you know,
hate.
it's one of those things that it's, I don't know, if it's very mechanical, at some point the machine is going to do it for you. But
I think more than just the machine. Like I feel like it's a disservice to yourself.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
May end up in a situation and not understand at all like why it happened. I don't know. I feel like if we want like things that have like deep meaning and like collaborative projects, we need to like invest into like people who are willing to stick to drawing for a long time. I don't know.
Even if they're just stickmans.
Even if exactly, I don't
Yeah.
mind if they're just stickmans. Like I don't know. Have you read Mob Psycho?
Yes, and I've also watched Don Hartzellfeldt's movies. Have you watched any of them?
Don
The
Hartzellfeldt. No.
He's the guy who did "It's Such a Beautiful Day." Canceled? No, not canceled. Or is it canceled? I forgot. He only draws stick figures. He only draws stick figures. He recently has done The World of Tomorrow, which is like a 3-part series, and it's incredible. It's like one of the most poignant short films you can possibly watch, and it's by a guy who just draws stick figures on paper.
Yes.
And it's incredible. So yeah, just I don't want a world with more content. I want a world with less content, but more considered content, more intentional. That's really what I think it's ideal.
Yeah, I agree. I think I agree wholeheartedly.
Anyway,
I don't know.
And all of that came from the clown series, which is interesting. But I just want to hear it from you. What would you consider your style to be like? Like, I think it's very fluid, but also consistent. Delicate yet burlesque, detailed, but it doesn't get lost. Very unique shape language. Like as when you were drawing your shields characters. I remember you were drawing like characters with shields, and the characters were the shields. They were like a very unique shape language. Like, how did you train yourself to do this?
I mean, I'm gonna be real. Just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. You know, like,
Trial and error.
if you're drawing shit that doesn't look good and people don't get it, you know, like I don't know, just drawing something and people are like the colors are wrong, the shapes are wrong, but still being like, but there's something there. You know, being annoying about it, I guess.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
but there's something there. I see it. I want you to see it as well. Like I want to, and so it leads to you instead of improving, I guess, like traditional things about drawing, like the anatomy. Because my anatomy it's far from perfect. Like there are lots.
It's stylized anatomy. You can't completely understand what's going on.
Yeah, but it's not like completely accurate, you know. Like, and I look up a lot to artists that can just get it down perfect. Like, I think that's a very good skill to have. But
I do think I was gonna say I do think your shape language in your drawing, like, you can sketch it so fast that it just lends itself towards any like a lot of other things. In this rando drawing, for example, that I sent you, there's like all of these ornate shapes around him, but there's also vignettes behind him that shows another scene, and in the ornate shapes that are framing the drawing, there's other characters going on, but then those shapes also become like the words rando, like the actual text. So it's like you can almost use the same shapes to frame your drawings, do the text around the drawings, do the vignettes. It's very, very, I don't know, there is a word for this. There is a word in art for this. The gestalt, right? The gestalt where the sum is more.
So.
The sum is more the sum of its parts give a bigger whole, and yes, they cannot be separated.
Yeah, I think so. For me, art's a lot about format more than anything. I think that's one of the things I like about games. At times, I feel like the sprites force the artist into like a format, you know. Yeah, it gives me a lot of appreciation for stuff like old Fallout sprites, RPG Maker sprites, because like, sure, the infinite freedom of like digital and like, sure, you could have a canvas that's massive, impossibly massive, and impossibly detailed, but it's so beautiful when the artist like makes do with like such a little sprite, and it has to adhere to the language of the game, like that. So that's something I like a lot about, beyond like just the drawings, but like the animation of old games like Final Fantasy, you know.
Yeah.
They had those little sprites, okay, how do we convey like they're angry? How do we convey like they're happy or like they're sad? Like, and it's all like in the pauses and how the character turns at specific moments.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
big reason why I
absolutely.
like RPG Maker games as well, because it forces that format into like more modern games. Like, modern's not the right word, but like contemporary games. And I love that. Lisa does it so well. It's so good. Like they know how to deliver a punchline in Lisa.
Yeah, and the
So
punchline
fucking
it
wow.
works because it's so limited, right? Because it's
Yes,
fucking exactly.
it's because the reader by playing these games has already been trained in the format. You know, like they
Yeah,
know
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
format. So
Their
this
minds are attuned to the abstract language that they're seeing.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I love that. I love that so
See,
much.
what you're saying is just a huge reminder that people should remind themselves off of, specifically nowadays, with new emerging technologies. That limitation is the mother of creativity. Like perfection is boring. Perfection is so fucking boring. Because it's precisely in you know the Brian Eno quote where he says it's precisely the flaws of a given medium that define it and that people go back to, like the lo-fi, like you were saying right now, the pixels, the sprites, the pixel art, very specifically the low resolution, forcing people to think in a very mosaic type way of what is the minimum amount of information, in this case the pixel, that I can convey something with. And in turn, it's those very limitations that create entire new languages. Like,
Yes.
we all know that an exclamation point is specifically that very very small symbol is supposed to signify something. And in that same way, I don't know, like in the age of emojis, in the age of like in anime or something, when someone does like a very weird expression, you still know what it means because it's within the boundaries of this very abstract shape language. And once you're locked in into that, it's like, yes, it's technically more limited than if you were just throwing crazy stuff everywhere, but at the same time, you allow so much more, so much more complex signs to be communicated. Like, just imagine, if your brain could not be tuned to what a simple sprite character is doing. Then you would be losing on like such a myriad of possible experiences. So if anything, I
Yeah.
say, yeah, I do really believe that limitation is the mother of creativity. And if anything, I go farther and I would say most things in life are like negative, as in you have to do one thing on top of the other instead of doing another one. Language is negative. Do you know structuralism? You know what that is?
Enlighten me.
Structuralism is like this early 20th century linguistic theory that pretty much it says that language has a structure, right? But that structure is more due to what every word isn't than what it is. And you can
Mm.
delineate, like if you were to connect what a word is and isn't to every other word that exists, then you would notice that there's very few strings connecting a word to another that says is, and a lot that says isn't. Like one thing isn't much like another, way more than it is like another. Therefore, language is by itself negative. Like sign distinguishes itself from noise by being negative. Like if everything is positive, then what you get is like, the traditional story of Babel, right? The Tower of Babel, or the Library of Babel, where every single possible book that could be written is written, and then you go open any of those books, and it's just gibberish. It's just gibberish because that's what it means when everything is positive. That's what it means when you don't bring negation into play. It's just you get infinite noise, like it's just in chaos. So most things, language, goodness, quality, it's actually negative. It's the negation of a myriad of other possibilities. Even just the harnessing of technology, like fire is negative, for example. We like humanity taming fire. Just imagine how many terrifying ways the usage of fire could go, right? There's way more possible negative states than positive states. It can burn down the village. It can burn down you, can destroy the food supply. But under very careful managing, in other words, in very ways that you restrict the use of the thing. In other words, in the many negative states. That's how you actually find what's useful and what's good. So it's like most things in life follow this pattern, that negation is at the crux of being able to distinguish something that's good and something that's bad, something that's, a sign from something that's noise. And I think that is true to everything, including art, which is why what you said is can happen, right? Because we are, by focusing on sprites, you are denying the extra complexity of more highly res images. But by doing so, you open up this door that exists within only that language and can communicate only through that way. And that's, again, just goes to show, again, we're just humans. We just live one way towards one end. We're gonna die at some point. So it's just like acknowledging that you're gonna have to focus on something. And once you acknowledge that, it's like
I was gonna get to that actually. that point specifically. I think what's so appealing and interesting about like the usage of those things is it feels very virtuous in like its acceptance of like death.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like eventually we will die, so like we have to be efficient. We have to like figure out the best way to use this language, Then I don't know. That is.
Would you say that you're more a minimalist than a maximalist?
No, I'm definitely a maximalist.
You're a maximalist.
Yeah,
I can see.
I definitely haven't definitely still haven't accepted death completely, I guess.
Okay.
But I don't know. I feel like I'm starting to understand little by little. That's why you have to grow old.
Yeah, like
if I
Mobius.
just stopped when I made if I stopped when I just made those drawings with the micro pens 5 years ago, then, I don't know. You wouldn't be able to get to see all these other drawings I've made there.
Yeah. I was just saying that, Mobius, definitely, right?
Of course.
In my last
call last year.
Of course, I think every artist knows him, but it's like last interview I actually brought him up with Brewjack Art, and because Mobius also started like extremely complex. Like he was super baroque. He had all of these line weights when he was drawing Blueberry, and it's so insane. You look at that, and it's crazy the amount of detail. But when John G. Ho, like his real name, when he made a transition to becoming Mobius, right? That's when he started to do things simpler with a thinner line, less details. So I just think, there's like a trend here. There's like a trend that when the older an artist gets, the more seductive a simpler style is, I feel. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same for everyone, but I do think it has to do with that you just said, a certain death acceptance, memento mori kicking in.
Yeah. I do feel like there is virtually like patience to like, pour little by little into a project until it's done, even if it's like not an instant.
I agree, and I wish it was that way still.
I do like getting my ideas down fast, like I sketch a lot, like you said.
Yeah.
It can be 1 second. Just the background.
Okay.
Look at this part, I guess. But like the cat. It can be. It's good to get your ideas down fast and like register what you're thinking. But I do also like long-term projects. I feel like there needs to be like a certain balance. I think that's why I like games. With drawing itself, like I can just kind of focus on, let's get this down. Let's figure this out in a fast way. Figure what I can do with like this time limit, with this canvas limit, with one layer usually. But with games, it's more methodical.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to create like rules. You have to create structure based on those things. I don't know. There's so many ways to approach.
I wanted to
That's
ask,
where you gotta live.
now that you shifted to games, before I get into that, I want to ask how experienced are you with animation? I think I've seen a few animations you've done.
Maybe not traditionally experienced. Like I don't know how to put like scenes one after the other. I've never made like an animation video.
Yeah.
I've only made like animation clips. But
I've
I
seen
feel
GIFs.
like
I do have a few GIFs from you, yeah.
working on the game, I have animated like a lot, and we do like purely stepped animation. So each
Steps?
frame is posed. Yeah, meaning like there's no interpolation. Like
Oh,
each
yeah.
frame is posed individually, and since there are like time constraints,
You're doing
I
it
do
in
end up
3D, right? You're doing it all in 3D.
yeah,
Okay.
I do end up animating like in fours. It can look a bit weird, but like I do switch between animating fours and twos and threes, just to like get the animation done for the game in time. Like yeah, in a way, I'm pretty experienced. I have read a bit of Richard Williams' book.
Williams?
Williams, sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah, the
Mispronunciation.
animator survival guide.
Yeah, I have it. I haven't finished it, but it's really good. You just read it, you know.
Yeah.
Just read it all. It's good. But I'm a bit. I haven't been good about that. I haven't read it as much as I should. Pretty
There,
experienced. I do think I could compose like an actual animation if I set myself out to do. I just feel like I'm a little busy with like other projects. You know, like there's only so much you can do.
yeah,
If I had more
absolutely.
time, if I had more time, I would. But
Especially animation is very time consuming, so you have to be serious about it.
yeah,
I was gonna say, oh yeah, this is just a curiosity of mine because have you ever studied calligraphy?
no.
Okay. Because sometimes your sketches have like these illuminist lettering to them. Sometimes.
Yeah, it's pure bullshit.
It's
It's
just
pure
bullshit.
bullshit.
Okay.
It's just bullshit. I mean, most people can tell it's
All right.
This
Well,
doesn't really follow any rules, and it's just me trying to get better at it without
yeah.
any
I'm
knowledge.
currently doing a project where I'm actually have to handwrite, so just wanted to know.
I'm really bad at lettering, especially for comics.
Okay, what is up with those like fucked up anime girl drawings that you do sometimes?
Oh, how do I explain that?
Like the ones that have eyes too big and their tears are coming off and they're all like they're outside the lines. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm not sure how to explain it, like in words. It's a good question. I don't know. Maybe it's like a weird way to try and express like something more feminine. I don't know.
Are you sure?
It's
It seems like you're just parodying like anime stuff.
It's not. It's not parodying. Like I like anime stuff. I'm not trying to make fun of it when I draw those things. I don't know. I guess it's just more trying to figure out like I don't know ways to like portray it. You know, like AC Boo, the studio.
Oh yeah, I love them. They do pop. They did the
Yeah,
pop thematics and they do all those crazy music videos.
I guess it's my way to try and understand that. But I think the problem for me is that I haven't watched enough anime. Like I've watched plenty, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not enough of an anime buff to get the deconstruction just right.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a bit that and a bit like also wanting to tell stories with those characters. I don't know. I don't have a good explanation. Sorry.
Okay.
It's
What about Gamer Sephiroth?
Gamer Sephiroth.
Yes. What about Gamer Sephiroth?
It's when I used to shitpost a lot more. I used to post a lot more on Twitter when it was actually fun
Okay.
instead of a nightmare. You know.
Is that where Sen came from also?
Yeah, it was from that time.
Okay.
I don't know. It was just me having fun.
Gamer Sephiroth. Have you
I
done?
do really like Sephiroth.
Yeah, he especially like his live streams. Anyway.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
I should have named it live stream.
Yeah,
Oh
because
my
he's always
god.
obsessed about the live stream and he live
Oh
streams.
fuck. I think fuck. Well.
Anyway, it's done. Have you done comics before?
Um. I've done comics with the anime girls.
Oh
More
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
strips.
Yeah, comic
Uh,
strips.
I did like thumb a whole comic for the clown I drawn a lot. Eggshells. That's her name.
Eggshells.
Yeah, I've thumbed. I did like the thumbnails for the whole, not like the entire series, but like a whole issue.
Have I seen
I
it?
like
Is the
to.
comic out there?
No, it's not out there.
Okay, okay,
I don't know. It's not. It's not done. I don't know if I'll finish it. So I don't like. I
okay.
mean,
At some point,
I
at some
think
point
me.
you will
I
see it.
think me not sharing it actually is kind of bad. It's kind of me thinking I'm gonna finish this someday actually, instead of like I'm not gonna finish it. But I don't know. Like I do like comics. I would like to do comics, but I chose game. So
Video
you can't do everything.
games. Yeah, that
You
is
can't do
true.
everything.
What if you do both at
Sadly.
once?
Oh, that is death drive. That is asking to die. Like, like I gotta take care of myself. Like I like going out, walking with my wife, chilling, playing games myself.
Wait, you're not on the Sigma grind set?
No, you shouldn't be on the semi grind set. You should spend time with the people you love and take care of yourself.
Okay, okay, okay.
If you follow the Sigma grind set without being like a billionaire, you're gonna die.
No, we're not
Like,
gonna all be billionaires. It's by de facto impossible for everyone to be a billionaire.
exactly. We should maybe try to figure out a way for everyone to be happy without max accumulation of money. I don't know. Just an
No,
idea
I
of
think I
mine.
think we should believe in the techno capital where bots trade with bots forever, so they generate infinite
Surely,
revenue,
surely that will fix. Yeah, infinite
and
revenue.
then we have infinite abundance, and everyone will live in Eden with infinite money.
That would be nice, but
Anyway,
uh,
okay. I think I should probably speak about the game, the actual game that we've been
alright.
meandering about, not speaking. So
Mhm.
Meanderer, previously
Yes.
called Whirl, something you've been working on for a while. What can you share about it? Because I think it's still in
God.
development, right? What can you say about it?
It is in development. We're paused currently.
Mhm.
Oh, tough to talk about. But I did kind of pivot my life to try and finish and work on it. It's a very ambitious project,
Yeah.
Meander. Um, like it has the structure of a roguelite where like if you die you get sent back to the start and you can kind of do stuff over. But it's not the same like mindset of accumulation of like, oh, get more skills so you can get more skills so you can defeat more bosses so you can get more things.
Yeah.
It's kind of more like an exploration game with like combat elements, like so like you can express yourself through combat, but it's more like just a tool to get through the game, rather than like, oh, I'm gonna become the biggest, most badass, biggest combo ever. It's gonna be the God Run.
Is that why
Which
there's
like
it's fun, right? But is that why that exploration angle? Is that why you can just interact with everything and it just says something?
yes.
Okay, so it's driven
It's
by
more
curiosity.
yes, it's driven by the player's curiosity and desire to like understand the game. Ideally, of course, like maybe people will play it for 2 seconds and be like, "This fucking sucks ass."
It's just
Fair enough.
which like
It kind of
what it's interesting is because roguelikes and exploration seem to be like water and oil almost, because you're gonna go back to it and it's different. So how do you like
maybe.
conjoin the two? How do you do those two at
But
once?
I think all the roguelites were more willing to mix the both of them. The ones with like ASCII art, they were willing to make like a campaign that could last 10 hours, and end in an instant, just the same.
Okay.
And I think more recently, Noita is perfectly fine doing the same thing. Like you can have a
Noita?
Noita save file. Yeah, Noita.
I never played it. What is it about?
It's about being like an alchemist that's trying to understand the world and like create the work, quote unquote. At least on paper, but like it is a lot about exploration, experimentation. It really makes you feel like an alchemist breaking down the world and how it works and its elements, by the time you are more acquainted with the game. Um, I think the design philosophy of the game and like the presentation match so well. You really feel like Noita, but it's true. You really fucking feel like Noita. Like
Okay.
you're a fucking witch, an alchemist breaking down this world. So like in that game, like you can go to like parallel dimensions. You can.
Wait, what did I do? What did it say? I reset.
No, it's
I
fine.
did.
It's fine. Relax, relax. It's normal. It's
Okay.
normal. Nothing's gonna happen.
I don't know what I did.
It's fine. It's fine. But you can go to parallel dimensions. You can like mix elements to create a new element. You can like replace the entirety of an element in the universe with another element if you know what you're doing. Like it's a game that like if you want, you can just like play Noita, do the run, get strong, get to the end, win, and that's the run, like you play it like a normal roguelite. But if you want, you can like go a different way and explore the world and find what's there. Like what is in this world? Like after this huge wall of like solid stone, is there something else? And that is how you reach like the parallel dimensions. Like when you go to the border of the map, if you dig through a massive wall that like kills you if you step on it, but you figure out a way to survive, you get to like a copy of the first world. It's like it's like a new game plus, but like entirely in the gameplay. It's not a button. It's like an action you take to arrive to new game plus.
Okay,
Do
interesting. I've
you
never
understand?
I've heard about the game, but I've never actually dug much deep into it. So I'm curious now. I'll definitely, especially if I can understand more about Meander, by knowing about Noita.
You can.
Okay.
Yeah. So like it's not as a lot about experimentation, exploration. There is some stuff that's like so obscure you may never know. But I think it's still like interesting, like to delve into this world, to look into this world and find this world. Like I used to look up a lot of stuff about games, and recently I've like kind of tried to stop myself more and more to just delve into the world, at least give it like a solid try, like play it, actually play it and understand it before like going, okay, that's as far as I got. I want someone to explain to me like what else is there, like but
Okay.
first like actually give it like a solid college try. So like yeah, Meander is a lot more like these old roguelikes. I didn't know like what made a game loop like satisfying or addicting, and more was like about, okay, you have this like machine, this like world for you to like spend time understanding and like putting together in your head, and it's up to you like how much you want to interact with it. Like if you want, ideally you could just get to the end of the game, but that's it, you're done,
Right
like,
from the beginning?
Yeah, like you could just do like a run,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you could just keep going, keep doing the levels, or you can interact with this world, understand why you're doing the things you're doing, like what is your mission actually, what is this world actually, why are things like this. You don't need to know, but you can know if you want to know. So it's a lot about like how much do you want to explore of the world, how much do you want to understand. And it plays a lot more into like older philosophies for games, where like the mechanics themselves were the appeal of the game. Like a lot of games nowadays can apply like RPG elements, like character building, like becoming stronger, mechanically stronger. Like your character does more damage, the numbers are higher. But like with Meander, you want like the focus to be more like on just understanding the mechanics, even if they're clunky, like understanding the world, even if it's like so spread around and weird. Like we just want to like put you in this weird world to be like, okay.
What are you doing mostly in the game? Is it like the art part, the animations?
I do for Meander, I do the art, I do all the 3D modeling, I do like the level design. So like plus like all the level dress, so like the tiling, the tiles on the floor are all very intricate. The way they're put together.
Even even around the text boxes, there's like all of these ornate geometric patterns that look really cool.
Yeah, like the geometric meandering patterns.
Yeah, everything's meandering.
Patterns upon patterns upon patterns.
What's influenced this style? Is it like Aztec art? What influenced it?
I mean, it's definitely like pre-Columbian, like how do you say? Is it Mesoamerican?
Yeah, is it like Brazil before the Portuguese people got in?
No, like I mean a little bit. Brazil, it's definitely more about like the Aztecs, the Incans, and the Mayans, than Brazilian tribes. But there is still a bit of Brazil there. There's like a few texts that I put deliberately in Portuguese. I don't know.
Oh, I haven't gotten that part yet.
Yeah, there are some things that are in Portuguese on purpose. But yeah, it's this side. But just to finish up, like the things I'm working on the game, it is like the level design, the models, the animations. I also do the music, the sound effects.
Wait, the music really?
Yes, I did the music for the game.
Interesting. You have a guitar?
No, I do it all digitally. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hopeless with a guitar, to be quite honest. My brother plays a lot of guitar, but I never learned. He wanted to teach me when I was super young, but I was like, nah, man, I just want to play video games and draw. Fuck that.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, wait, maybe he has a point. Maybe it is kind of cool to learn different things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I do the music and stuff. I just want to understand, like I want to know how it is to do all these things for a game. I want to know how it works, I guess. So in a way, like making Meander is me trying to understand games better, and also trying to make like a product on top of it. So it is very ambitious. But I do have my friend who programs the game.
It is
very nice.
Again, it seems like even in this project, you're still using it as a way to understand other things, such as games.
I mean, I don't know. I think that should be the default approach. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have brain damage.
No, I agree with you. It's just not. It's not. It's. I do think it's the correct approach. It's just not the casual approach, right?
Maybe. I don't know. Seeing how the world was going, I was like, oh, everything's getting shitty. The inshittification of the world. I was like, I just want to do something weird.
Okay. Why did you decide the main character to be the traditional indie hero of having the long cape and the sword?
The long cape?
Yeah.
I just really like Journey when it came. I mean, I was a lot younger when I designed her, but I do like her design.
Yeah.
I wanted her to be more of a shape than a humanoid, because I wanted the animations to be very striking and identifiable.
Again, they're very geometric and they blend into the shape language of like the whole Inca influence.
So I wanted when they animate, I wanted them to kind of like, become these different shapes as keyframes. I'm not sure how well I got it. Since I was just a beginner when like I first started doing her animations and stuff, but I think there's value there. I don't know. I think it's interesting. It was a good try. I probably would redo her model if I was starting over now, but I think it's pointless to like redo stuff. I'd rather finish it.
I think she evolved quite a bit, and the game did as well, right? It's changed quite a bit since, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago.
Well, her model's the same. Like, her model's the same.
Yeah, I mean, the way you draw her is kind of a little different.
Yes, it changed a lot. She's a lot more animalistic. Like,
will you update the model in the future to reflect that?
I don't think so. If I want to finish the game, I can't be doing that stuff.
Okay,
I don't know. I feel like you only do that stuff once you make it. You can't be doing that stuff before you you
Yeah,
have money. You know, if you're still dirt poor,
yeah, I
you
can't
can't be like,
afford.
oh wait, hold on, guys. Let me spend 2 years updating this model and changing all her animations.
Yeah.
I
Oh
don't
wait,
know.
yeah, you have to change the animations as well. That's
Exactly.
true.
Like
That's the problem.
that's crazy. That is a big problem.
Yeah, I can't do that. Um. Yeah. That's. Are there any other game projects you worked on or are working on?
I helped a little bit with Beetle Ninja,
Beetle
but
Ninja.
that's it. Yeah, it was an RPG Maker game, but I just helped a bit. Like I didn't do
But
that
is it
much.
is it out?
It's on Steam now. Yeah, it's out. It's on Steam. It's
Huh.
clunky, but I think it's good.
Beetle Ninja.
Um,
I'll have to check that out.
yeah, it's a good game. I think. I don't know. I mean, I made it, so I'm biased, but I worked on it.
I'll assume it's a good game. I won't
Yeah,
even have to look at it.
yeah. You have to play it. No, but seriously, it is good. I think more people should play it. It's a cool game.
Okay, go down.
But
Everyone,
like,
go
but
download Beetle
I just,
Ninja.
yeah, I just helped with that. I just helped with that. I didn't make it. But yeah, other than that, I haven't. I didn't take the right approach where it was like, okay, let's make a bunch of small games first. I was like, no, let's make one super giga huge game right away. Let's make a masterpiece. I don't know.
Is there a recent build people can download and play of Meander?
No,
No.
we've been trying to like get a demo out for years, but it's just so system heavy that we haven't really finished all the systems. To be completely
Okay.
honest.
So it's not out. It's okay. Just
No,
trust me.
no.
Trust me. It's good. It's good. Okay. Trust me. All right.
Eventually, like in a billion years when it comes out, I'm sure people like.
In the heat death of the universe,
Yeah.
we'll eventually play it. Add it to
But
your
yeah,
Steam
it's
list.
definitely harks back to like an era of games where it's more about exploration. A game I played recently feels a bit like that to me. Moon RPG. I don't know if you know about it.
Are you talking about the like 97 game for the PS1
Yes.
Moon Remix RPG?
Yeah.
Love the Leak?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that game quite a bit.
It's very good, and I think it is. I don't know. It's much more about the exploration of the world. Sure, there's goals, but like
Yeah, there's
when
no
by
combat and
yeah, but by doing the goals, you kind of learn like to appreciate and pace yourself. I think
yeah,
it's
every
cool.
single thing you do kind of gives you a glimpse of the world, a larger glimpse.
Yeah, yeah. Like you have to live by the rules of this world no matter what. Like the day and night cycle, your energy, their schedules.
Sometimes that kind of pissed me off because
It can be.
you literally die and you haven't saved because you couldn't find a bed out of nowhere.
No, it can be annoying. I'm not saying. But I do appreciate a game that's willing to frustrate you a little bit,
Have you played
I don't know.
Garage Bad Dream?
Garage Bad Dream.
It's like also like a late 90s, very obscure game, using pre-rendered graphics, and it looks really interesting. But holy shit, is that game like one of the most frustrating games you could ever play? I really want to learn about the world as I'm playing, but everything is like it's like an adventure game on rails, and every time you move, you lose like either your ego or fuel, and if either one of those goes to zero, you just die. And there's only specific places you can save, and there's only specific places where you can refill. So it's like if you like you said, you are no matter what under the game's rules. And yeah, you can kind of see, okay, this is just how this world works. But sometimes, in that case in specific, it really, really goes, at least, at least to me, really goes against my willingness to keep playing it. Like, at some point, there's got to be, like, you got to seed, you got to, like, concede something so that people actually want to keep playing. You can't make it
That's
too
fair.
obscure.
That's fair. I think I agree. Like, if it's so hostile that you can do it. Yeah, but I do feel like there is there can be a lot more dialogue between the developer and the player, where like the developers actually know like less this mechanic can work, like this can work. Just
No, I agree. I
just
think we've been way too conditioned in games for there being action always driving whatever you're doing, right?
yeah.
Since the beginning, since the way it was based on scoring points.
Yeah. But I think there's a lot of people pushing the envelope, trying to
Yeah.
get
I've seen
get
too
people
many
to
examples. I've seen too
challenges
many examples
tested.
of exploring new things, like Kentucky Route Zero, like Tacoma, like What Remains of Edith Finch.
Brain
Um,
World. Brain
yeah,
World
Rain
looks really
World
good.
is also obviously. I was just like these games that don't really have a particular. You can't see the gameplay loop immediately. In fact, it feels some of them feel like walking sims, but they would be nothing without the interactivity that they do have. And I
That
think
is
that
true.
is very. It's like a very unexplored because I don't know. I feel like there's a stigma that once you try to do something like this, you're going to be labeled as like a walking sim, and it's like it's not a real game. It's not, but it is. It's like if anything, if anything, it's gonna drive you more towards the world by not making literally every single aspect of it gamified and following a loop and having reward systems everywhere.
I'm gonna
Um,
take your brush. Brush is awesome.
it's the same as
Um.
yours.
Oh, what the hell? How do you do that with brush?
I
Let me
just
see.
changed it a little bit.
You make it work for you.
Yeah.
um. Yes, I think a really good example of this. Like, I do get that like people can be like impulsive to label something like a walking sim without even trying it. But I do feel like there's a difference between like walking sims and like something that does like turn like the act of like walking and exploring in its own like
Into
way of
its
like
own
playing the
gameplay.
game. Yeah. I feel like the best example of that is Yuminiki.
I was gonna say,
Um,
I think people would think of Death Stranding when he says something like that.
yeah, Death Stranding also, but I think Yuminiki is good because it's like it doesn't have more than just the walking. Like Death Stranding, there's a whole terrain aspect to it, and like your load weight and the weather and
But
everything.
Yumeniki is actually a great example of what we're talking about because, like you said, it's a video games have this aspect of just being somewhere else, just the ability to be somewhere else that's virtual is ironically very underexplored because you have to put the game first a lot of times, and it games that have exploration as their main thing are normally labeled as a different genre: Metroidvania, immersive sim, walking sim, right? It's like it's not the default. You have to use all of this technology we have. We have to use it to put waypoints and quantify everything, and have numbers popping up. And Humanica is kind of like the opposite of that. It's extremely contemplative. It's extremely like letting you be in that moment for that time,
Exactly.
right? And
Yeah.
yeah, like you
Yeah,
said, they like
and I
they like
think
that.
like the way Kikiyama did it, like I feel like the way you explore the world is so like measured. Like, I don't know, like the size of the looping tiles, the looping maps that you're
Mm.
in, like the size, like the way you walk through each room, like the way you get to each world, and like the worlds you have to get through to get there, like the tracks that play, like all the tracks in the game I think are 15 seconds long and looping. So like I feel like he has this approach to everything in the game where it's like all in this like format, like poetry almost. So like the act of walking and the gameplay of walking also has like that format. It forces you to experience that level for a certain amount of time. Or like if you want
Yeah,
to get something, you have to walk a certain
it's
distance.
using like the repetitive element of like a game, like the loops, the small sprites, to like enclose these very different dreams. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, I think that's really cool. You've done a bunch of Humaniki fan art also, like
Yeah.
I've seen. So
When I
like
was
is it how recent are they? Because I've seen you draw like a little bit of like every place, if I'm not mistaken. Like every small dream you've done, every aspect you've done, kind of like a small artwork for
No,
it.
I haven't done. I haven't done that. I haven't done all the effects. I
Oh,
haven't
missed
done all the
one.
place,
Missed
all
one.
the all the places because I don't think that's the point of the game itself. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you've
like
done a lot of them though.
collecting all the effects. Is like a good little thing to do, but I feel like as soon as you like start going for like, okay, I want to get them all, you start losing the appreciation for the game a little bit, especially if you're just doing it like to do it. Because I think
Yeah.
the way I did those drawings is that I would open the game and I'd just walk around and see where I'd end up. Like I had played it before, so I knew where I was going, but I don't know. I would just walk around and find a place and see how I feel, and then I'd just draw it.
I've never
You know?
finished it, so I never got all of the effects. But yeah, I do think
But
it's not
but here's
meant.
the thing:
Hmm.
even if you haven't gotten all the facts, I feel like you have experienced all of it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel
Like
like you're
I feel,
supposed. It doesn't feel like you're supposed to have a collectivist
yeah,
mindset. That's true.
I feel like as someone who's played like only like 2 hours, 1 hour of Humaniki and visit like a minor percentage of the world, still like played it, and still finished it. Like because like just stepping into the world, you're already doing everything that's available to
Yeah,
you. I
I'm
don't.
also kind of past the idea that you even have to finish a game to really experience it. I think there are some type of games that lend themselves. You play it for a while, but the vertical slice that you got through it is what was meant to be.
I
Um,
I agree in part. I am kind of very adamant about like finishing things generally.
yeah, yeah,
Like
same.
like if I start an RPG, like I feel like I gotta get to the end
Yeah,
of it.
RPGs are kind of dangerous because of that. They just suck up your time.
But like a single player game. But there are a lot of games that like you kind of just have to tell yourself no. Shit,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like RimWorld, I played a lot of RimWorld. I have like 2,000 hours in RimWorld,
Wait,
and
what?
I've only
Really?
yeah, and I only finished it when it was like in beta, and I never finished it again.
You have damn. I that game is hard. I have a hard time with Rain World. It's like
No, not
it's
Rain World. Ring World.
wait,
Sorry.
what's Rim World?
Ring World is a colony simulation game. Like
Oh,
Dwarf
okay.
Fortress. A little bit.
Wait, yeah, definitely heard about that. I don't think I played that one.
No, Rain World, I do feel like a little bit like that about Rain World. That like finishing it is kind of extra. That the
Yeah.
time of like just spending the time in the world and like figuring it out is more precious than like, getting to the void or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um I do still feel like it's kind of bullshit when you get to moon. You know what I mean? When you get
What?
to the little
I
blue
didn't. I
robot.
didn't finish it. It's way too difficult. Like I said.
Okay, but if the people watching have played Rain World, it's so bullshit when you get to moon. Like you don't know what to fucking do.
Well,
But anyway, like it doesn't matter because like just playing the game and like playing in the outskirts is way more fun than like trying to figure out how to finish
that
it.
game seems like it's alive. It seems like the whole game is just one
Really?
alive
Oh,
mind.
it's so good.
Yeah,
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 that's
yeah.
a masterpiece. I have no idea how they fucking did that. Like I have no idea.
Are they
There's so many games.
Brazilian? Are they like a Brazilian group?
No, no,
No.
no,
Okay. For
no.
some
They're
reason, there was like a lot of.
maybe one of the expansions. I think they're like mods turned into official things. So maybe one of the developers there, but like the
Okay.
original, I think it's a duo,
Hmm.
not Brazilian. I don't remember where they are, but they have like an European accent.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I didn't research much into that, but it is definitely one of those games that begets it because it's so interesting. Um, yeah. So from what I get from this, if I really want to understand Meander, I gotta play Noita, gotta play Rimworld, gotta play
No,
1000
Rimworld, no, Rainworld, not
Rainbow.
Rimworld.
I gotta
Rimworld,
play
you don't need to
Yumenike.
play it.
I gotta play 1000 Yumenike likes, like Flow, and stuff like that. What else?
Reading list for meander.
Yeah, okay. I just need
Human
to.
Yuki, World, Noita, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Love and War. Just
Mm-hmm.
kidding. It's fine.
I did read. I did read Zarathustra, so you're in good hands.
What did you think?
The book by Nietzsche, right?
Yeah, what did you think?
Yeah, I like it. I think it's my favorite Nietzsche book.
Really? Oh, I also read it. I really like it.
Yeah, I think I continuously think about the parts where he's like just wandering through the snow and the ice, and he's thinking, you know, all the people next to their firewood. Their their cold is more real than mine because their cold is imagined. They are fearful of the cold. I am in the cold. I make the cold mine. So the cold that I face in my skin, in my realness,
Uh,
is less powerful than the ones they fear next to their
Apart,
firewood.
apart, I think there's two parts I think a lot about. I think about the part where he dances.
Oh yeah, with the
Uh,
animals.
with, yeah, and he gets super like fucked up and sad after. He's like super depressed after the dance is done.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think when he's like, I think it's the beach, and he sees like a man swallowing or choking on a snake.
Oh
That was also
yeah,
respect.
yeah. That
I
part was
wanted to, I
awesome.
wanted to animate something. I wanted to animate Zarathustra. I didn't have the
It's.
time.
I think the most interesting part is not even in the book. It's just the fact that he made a book about Zarathustra, because it made me really interested in actually researching Zoroastrianism.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I eventually I did my research, and you know, it turns out it's like one of the most important, it's like one of the most important things because it influenced Christianity. Like
Yeah.
the myth of Jesus is much based on Zarathustra, and many consider him to be the first philosopher ever. And it's important because Zoroastrianism, you know, the book, the Zendavesta, that's kind of where, at least in written wise, that's kind of where we made mankind first made the division between good and evil. Like it before that, I don't even know what it was like to be alive before that. If you couldn't divide things between so this is good and this is bad, but yeah, it took the entities of Spenda Manu and Angra Manu, you know, Ormuz and Nariman, and it's very interesting. It's very interesting because that is the prototype for monotheism, because you have like these two gods, one for good and one for evil, but they are both like the sons of Zurvan, and Zurvan is time itself. So it's already super curious how time is like this, such an important thing to humanity, that the division of good and evil started with time. Like it's as if time is like this immaculate absolute thing that's beyond good and evil. You know, quote Nietzsche again. Um, but the moment time, when you start to measure it, once it divides, it suddenly phenomena can be either good or evil, and you know you can see how that lends itself to the larger mythos of the fall of man, learning the eating the forbidden fruit of good and evil, and it's just interesting because it makes you think, so good and evil and all this stuff. It's really all about time, isn't it? The keeping the flame, the Zoroastrian flame that needs to be kept alive eternally. It's all this relationship with time. That's where everything comes from. Our very qualitative differences of what is good and what is bad begins with that. Um, and you know, that book just made me research a little bit more deeply into that type of stuff. Yeah, and Zarathustra is just in my mind just became one of the most important figures in all of history.
Well, you've gone way deeper than I have to be honest. I just read Zarathustra, but you went fucking respect.
Yeah, because you have to imagine Nietzsche. You know, Zarathustra is a person, right? He wrote the book, a fictional book about this person, Zarathustra.
Yeah.
Um, and Nietzsche is all about going beyond morality or not being subsumed by it. Like that's where the word beyond good and like his other work, Beyond Good and Evil, is also in a way about Zarathustra, because he goes back to the beginning and redefines things as if good and evil is no longer the thing that defines the duality of man. But I don't know. Knowing, I had to think at some point that Nietzsche, he chose Zarathustra as the subject for this book that he wrote. And then, what is the name of the musician? Strauss. And then Strauss made a song, one of the most known songs ever, about the book that Nietzsche made. So it just made me curious. Okay, who is this guy? Who is Zarathustra really? And there's not that much info, unfortunately. But what there is, it definitely signifies that it's just the first philosopher, the prototype for monotheism, the division of good and evil, the acknowledgement of time. It's just all of these extremely importable, archetypal, perennial concepts. And it all takes origin in like Zoroastrianism. So I was just extremely curious about it. And I still am. I still need to dig deeper into it and see what other Persian philosophy from the time said about it. Because once you see it, you just start seeing it everywhere. Like, have you played Chrono Trigger?
Yes.
Have you played Chrono Cross?
Not Chrono Cross, sorry.
Okay. Chrono Trigger is Christianity. Chrono Cross is Zoroastrianism.
Okay. I need to do my research myself.
Yeah, it's like Chrono Trigger is Christianity and Chrono Cross is Zurvanism. And it says so, like they say it at the end of the game, the Sea of Zurvan. So it's acknowledging it. It's acknowledging all of those influences that reverberate throughout history. And it's like a part of the game's identity and philosophy. And you, again, because its influence is so vast, once you see it, you can't really unsee it. So yeah, it just made me think about that a lot. And who knows, maybe one day I'll make like this big 2-hour, 3-hour video about Chrono Cross.
No, you should. I watch it for sure. I'm loving what I'm hearing here.
Yeah, maybe it's going to be a lot of dedication.
You need to do a crash course on Zorio.
I'm not an expert. I really am not an expert.
I don't know how to pronounce.
Zoroastrianism. Because his actual name, I think, was Zoroaster. Zarathustra was someone calling them later. I think he's got these two names. It's Zoroaster and Zarathustra.
No, yeah, you should make the video because I need that.
Okay. I'm not an expert. I'm not like an hermeneuticist. I'm not a.
Well, I mean, you don't need to be an expert. I think you're just the base knowledge is pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think my lens is a little bit more artistic. It's not. Oh, I'm not gonna be fucking super accurate.
You should not worry about that. You should just do it. You know.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I think what you're saying is insightful. Do you really need any other justification?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'll just have to fight with the history nerds in the comments or something. I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah, but going
back to human topic.
Yeah, back to this topic. Is your main character, the meander, like influenced by Zarathustra in a way?
She has the monker is kind of a blank slate. She's the player, right? So these philosophies can be presented to her, but like she is also a character. She's not a blank slate. Sorry, like she does have a personality, but the way her personality evolves. I'm not saying this like mechanically or like story-wise, but it is up to like the players, how the player interprets her, like plays her. You know, you can be like, no, she is like a figure like Zarathustra, or you can be like, no, I don't believe any of that shit. Like that's just bullshit. Like the amount of respect you have for things is up to you as a player, I think. You know, so like if you played it a little bit earlier, but like if you want, you can just fucking kill an NPC, no matter how much dialogue they have. I mean, some of the main ones you can, but a lot of them you can. You know, just fucking murder them because you deny their philosophy, the way they see the world.
It's interesting because right at the beginning of the game there's like a small bit of story or history even of the game about how they're all studying. And I wonder what influenced that. What influenced that? Because it's very what is the correct word to describe it? It's a very hermeneutical, very scholastic. It has a very scholastic approach. Like she's not a warrior really. She's more like a student, like a sage who picked up a sword. What really influenced that? Because that's interesting. That now that you talked about Zarathustra, I just started talking about Zarathustra. He wandered. He was wise. It just makes me think if that's not one of the influences.
I mean, she's a bad student. First of all, like I mean, I don't want to talk much about it, but I will, just to give like context.
Mm-hmm.
In the intro, you can see she's sleeping actually.
Oh yeah.
Like
you're right. She was sleeping in one of those panels.
She's like, yes, there is that approach, but she's like a bad student.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of has like a more dismissive approach to all knowledge, in my mind at least. I don't know if we're effectively like conveying that through the game, but so I wouldn't say she is like Zarathustra in that sense. Like she could be, if she wanted, but like she does kind of like by default kind of deny the structures of the world, which I guess, I mean, that can be like kind of a way the Zarathustra thinks, but I don't know. It's up to the player, like what philosophies he wants to like adapt, like what he agrees with, what he disagrees with, as the character. Like even if she does have her own personality, like it's up to you to be like, okay, this is the truth of the world.
Is this why you have, like right at the very beginning, I don't think it's yet been implemented in the game, but you right click to agree and left click to disagree? Is this why you have that mechanic? So you can agree and disagree with the aspects of the world?
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting. Now I want to see what you do with it, because I haven't met any NPCs yet.
Yeah, it's because the project is very ambitious. Like we were looking into maybe getting a Kickstarter, but you know what sucks? Kickstarter doesn't operate in Brazil.
Wait, really?
Yeah, or Chile.
Huh.
Really? So
you can't make a Kickstarter?
No, we can't. We can. There's a Brazilian Kickstarter, but like our audience is not entirely Brazilian.
I see.
We are making the game in English.
Couldn't you change to Brazilian just easily to Portuguese?
It's just that the game has a lot of text.
Yeah, but you can nowadays. It should be easier to translate it, right?
The machine translation.
Just as a basis, and then you change it.
I don't know. I don't like that. I rather like write with the strengths of Portuguese in mind.
Yeah.
I rather write it myself so I can be better at Portuguese.
Yeah.
Have a machine do it for me. I don't know. Like I trust another human to apply their vision to the game. Machine is just a machine.
I am actually translating English into Portuguese. But yeah, I see your point.
But yeah, it's Portuguese, but you do Portugal Portuguese, right? And
the thing that I'm translating, I'm actually translating into Brazilian Portuguese because of the larger audience.
Okay. I mean, I have to see how it turns out.
Maybe we can talk about it at some point. Either way, aren't there like alternatives for Kickstarter? Like there was obviously Indiegogo.
Indiegogo also doesn't work.
No? Okay.
No.
Patreon
works, but it's a different format.
It is. Right? That's complicated.
I'm not gonna keep you short, but like we're exploring our options. But yeah, it's harder to like start these types of projects if you're not like in Europe or the United States. That's just the truth of it.
What about VPNs?
I mean, we're gonna actually commit tax fraud next if we do that.
Jesus, okay. I started thinking about it. Yeah, that's a different thing than just watching a show. You're actually...
No, it's Yeah, we have a company. It's all written down in the books. Like we can't mess around.
What about trying to convince, like, I don't know,
a neural slave?
No, that's not what I mean. Just like a grant.
We tried going after it.
Didn't work?
But we kind of suck.
They kind of suck.
No, we kind of suck.
Oh, you kind of. Why?
In Brazil, like, they are very timed to a very specific.
That is also true here. That is also true here.
I don't know. Like, it's just the two of us. We don't really have complete knowledge and understanding of, like, the whole machinations of making a game, to be honest. Like, we're learning as we go, you know, so, like, there's a lot we're still figuring out. Turns out, like, making a crazy indie project like that is just a massive, insane undertaking.
Well, we need to find a way.
Not only takes, like, so much capital, but, like, years of knowledge and coordination. We'll find a way, but we're changing our approach for now. There's a reason the project's on pause at the moment. But we do want to finish it. It's just, I don't know. It was kind of dominating my life, you know. It's a project I really, really care about. Like, I love to make it, but
if we can, if this podcast gets big enough, I can always recall back to it and go like, everyone go back, Kickstarter, the Meander Kickstarter. But yeah, if there's no kick, it's gonna be difficult. I don't know.
We'll see. Don't worry too much about it. Don't worry. It's not like we can figure it out. We will figure it out. It's just getting these projects out is hard. People don't talk about it usually, you know. Like, your connections matter a lot. Like, where you live matters a lot. It's hard, but I mean, it's worth it. I think. I don't know. Exactly because of that, you should try to make way for it somehow.
All right, I do really like how it's going so far. I just think we shouldn't slide too much. She slides and ricochets too much.
I'm afraid she might keep sliding.
Okay. Well, that's it is very interesting. At least I like the very beginning screen, the side scrolling with her on top. That's really cool looking. The game does have a pretty unique art style overall.
Thank you.
Yeah,
don't worry too much about that.
Yeah,
when
it's
time, it will come out.
Look, if it fails, you can always do the clown game.
The more ambitious, even crazier game that requires publishing something on paperback or PDF.
Yes. And
it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. We're resourceful, me and the program. We'll figure something out.
Okay. I do have one final question, though.
Go on.
One last one. Okay, what if Mr. Beast gave you $1 million? You have to be in one of his shows, but he gives you $1 million. What would you do with it?
I would just make Meander, honestly.
You would finish it.
I would probably hire some people, and just blow the whole $1 million on that. Honestly.
Obrigado, Sr. Beast.
Sim.
With this money.
Eu falaria tipo assim: muito obrigado, Sr. Besta. Muito obrigado pelo $1 million. Eu precisava deste $1 million e você não precisava.
Now I don't need Kickstarter.
Like, if I had like 100 million, I would finish the game and I would like fund another 100 games. I'm serious. Like, I just want more shit in the world, you know, like more shit that's made.
Why not get a really cool car?
I don't want a really cool car. I have a driver's license, but I don't even use it, dude. Like, it's useless. Like, I took that test, a horrible fucking test. Have you taken out your driver's license?
No, I don't drive.
Oh, okay, but if someone has, I don't know how it is in other countries, but in Brazil, it's like torture. They torture you.
Yeah,
they torture you during the test, and they make you pay like a federal tax. That's massive. Whenever you fail, it's such a fucking scam.
Yeah.
It's probably like that everywhere, but it's like humiliating. It's so humiliating,
Is it
and not
that?
even in a good way.
Well,
Right.
yeah, being car dependent kind of sucks. Anyway, that's not what I meant. I was just meaning, wouldn't you just be like going to a place that's cool? It's just projects. You would invest it 100% on your project.
I just get that the basic necessities going as well as I could, and then the rest I blow it on projects.
Yeah.
If I have food on the table, the water bill's paid, the electricity bill's paid, we got internet, I'm chilling. I
Yeah.
don't spend a lot of money. The money has to be spent, like the economy has to keep going, and I want to just see people do crazy shit.
Yeah, I
don't know.
agree. It's Maslow's. You're just following Maslow's pyramid, and you got to get on top of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wanna. I'd blow all of it in projects. I don't even care. Like I just.
Are you telling me you wouldn't go to the nearest casino and try to make $1 billion?
I mean, nowadays that's called the stock market.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do that.
You're telling me you would not invest in Palantir.
No.
Okay.
I would blow it all. I'd blow it all until I'm back where I am right now. I don't care. I'm happy right now. I don't need more. I just want stability.
We don't live in stable times.
Then we gotta make them stable somehow. I don't know, man.
We have to buy a stable? Yeah.
Have you ever ridden a horse?
I've ridden a donkey. I don't know if that counts.
A donkey? I don't know. I'm not a horse specialist. I can tell if it counts or not.
Okay, whatever.
Alright.
Anyway, this has been Faião. Go follow. Where can people find you mostly?
People can find me either on Twitter or Tumblr or Newgrounds.
I thought you hated Twitter.
I do hate Twitter, but the kids are there, like the young talent is there.
Yeah.
So if you wanna see like new art, you gotta be on Twitter. If you wanna see what people are doing, it's true. Cause sure, Blue Sky is cool, but like none of the freaks are there. There are no freaks.
I think it's only the freaks on Blue Sky. Are you kidding me? I have a timeline.
No, I disagree.
I go there. I have a timeline filled with furries. Someone fucking just get that shit away from me.
The furries are not the class of freak that I'm talking about.
Okay, what is a freak?
Like the true blue freak that draws like freak humans in freak situations.
Okay.
I'm not talking about porn. Like philosophically freaky.
Okay, I see your point.
You need a balance. But Tumblr is good. Like if you don't want Twitter, you should go to Tumblr. I think more people should go to Tumblr.
Dude, I haven't used Tumblr in like 10 years. Maybe I should. I don't know.
It's fun. It's just like any other social media. It's better than Discord because at least people can see the stuff. In Discord, you're just in that little server.
You're right. I don't know. Maybe that is the answer. I haven't used Tumblr in so long. Jesus.
I think it's good. The tag system is very good. I still like it a lot better than the tag system in any other social media. I don't have Instagram. Fuck Instagram.
Yeah,
do you have Instagram?
Unfortunately, yeah. But it's probably the worst one. Instagram it's like the absolute worst at what it does and what it pretends to do. It's an image sharing site that you can't save images and destroys the quality and the format of your images. It's so bad.
For me, if you want a good one, it's Tumblr or Newgrounds. I love Newgrounds.
Yeah, in terms of format, yes. In terms of formatting and having your stuff not fucked with.
No, it's good. Yeah. Dude, I pay for I'm a supporter in Newgrounds. Like, I respect what Tom Folk is doing.
Well, he needs you. He legit needs you because he loses money every year.
No, but that shit's important. I'm willing to help. Like, more than anyone, he deserves the money. Like, he didn't trash Newgrounds and throw it in the trash like literally everyone else,
Yeah, he didn't sell it off. It's the only beacon.
Is important.
It's the only beacon of Web 1.0 left.
For real.
It's
And it
like
just lets you upload the images full quality, even if you don't pay for the thing. Like, you just can't upload as many, but
yeah, but
I don't
quality over substance, I guess. Uh,
know. Yeah.
what did I say? I said something stupid. Quality over substance.
Quality over substance. Don't you mean quantity?
Yeah, it's fucking retarded.
That's right.
Anyway, yeah, send me all the links so I can just copy and paste them into the description. And yeah, so go follow Faião. You can't play meander yet. You just have to meander in your head what it's like. And
That's just as good as the real thing.
but go see his drawings because they're really cool and they're very unique. And he's probably gonna draw about your favorite game at some point. So so that's like the expansion pack. All right, so that's been the Rodcast where we rupture the culture, new culture forever. Anyway, tune in for next
Thank you
guests.
for having me. This was very nice, actually. I really
No
liked
problem.
it.
We spoke about philosophy and arts and combined the two. That's pretty cool.
I think that was good.
Any last words?
Yes. If you're an artist, you're like a writer or a musician or whatever, you should just keep doing it no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter whatever said. Just keep doing that shit.
It is a raison d'être. I mean, it is its own end. All right.
That's what matters. As long as you're drawing, you're good.
As long as you're drawing the line and keeping the grind.
All right. I think that's good enough.
And honest
Okay?
to your mind. Yes. All right, guys. See you next time on the
Bye-bye.
Rodcast. Bye.